This week's podcast is brought to you in part by Squarespace. Squarespace makes it easier than ever to launch your wrestling and even non-wrestling passion project into a reality. With beautiful templates and the ability to customize just about anything, you can easily make a beautiful website all by yourself. And if you get stuck, Squarespace's 24/7 award-winning customer support is there to help. Go to squarespace.com/Colt for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use the offer code COLT and save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. This week on the podcast, 3 days on the road with New Japan USA, and we'll see what body part Juice Robinson broke this time. How weird can the Trent segments be on this podcast? And just exactly how does Marty Scurll pronounce roller derby? Enjoy the show.
This is the Art of Wrestling with professional wrestler Colt Cabana.
All right. How you guys doing? Come on in, sit down, relax. You're about to listen to The Art of Wrestling, a professional wrestling podcast. It's a life podcast. It's a personal journal. It's an entryway into the minds, the souls, the hearts, and the lives of the people involved in the world of professional wrestling. I am your host. My name is Colt Cabana. I am a ditcher of a polar vortex. I am sadly a man with a sad, bad neck. I'm also a guy who repeats words twice that rhyme. Most importantly, I am a professional wrestler, and I am sitting here live in my studio apartment in Chicago, Illinois. Before I go any further, this is fan supported and listener supported podcast supported by people just like you. We give it to you free of charge every single Thursday on ColtCabana.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts from. A couple great ways that you can support, rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. Tell a friend, tweet it out, TikTok it out with a song. Best way that you can support, ColtMerch.com, DigitalColt.com, t-shirts, buttons, pictures, posters, a children's book, action figures, micro brawlers. I sent out a poster this week. It's all available, ColtMerch.com, DigitalColt.com. What a treat. I said it was serendipitous. Serendipity. That sounds like a word. I think I'm using it in the correct manner. A lot of people ask me, did I get hit by the polar vortex in Chicago, Illinois? Siberia, if you will. No. Well, kind of. I mean, I don't really believe in God necessarily, but there was something that said, Colt, we need you to randomly go on a Tuesday to Los Angeles, California. And on that Tuesday is the day that Chicago had record-breaking cold days for a couple of days. Now, usually I take a bus to the train, and then I take the train to the airport. But Tuesday morning, I took an Uber to the train, and even the 2 minutes I had to wait for the train on the outside was probably one of the worst days of my life. Man. It was cold, but I was out of there. This tour was Los Angeles, North Carolina, and Nashville. All of them I kind of needed my jacket respectively for. It wasn't brutally warm out, but I wasn't in Chicago, and I got to miss it all. Thank you, New Japan USA, for getting me out of Dodge. First trip, PWG country. Rocky Romero is essentially the American liaison to the wrestlers and the New Japan office. He's been wrestling there. He tweeted out the other day, he's been wrestling 14 years with New Japan. Before it was the thing that you guys all obsessed over. He was there in the dark years. And I thought I would sandwich this whole tour with Rocky Romero, the start and the beginning. So this is us getting to the venue and getting the show on the road. All right, we are underground in Los Angeles. Starting this tour.
That was a ghost, by the way.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And not you?
No. Ooh, it was a ghost.
Oh my God, that might be the ghost of Ricky Reyes.
Possibly.
But Rocky is here. Now, Rocky, we are in the basement of what looks to, I think, is a nice, cool venue. I haven't even looked in the actual Globe venue, but I will in a second. We've been shuttled here because there is a meet and greet.
The earliest meet and greet of all time.
6 hours before the show starts. And we are a part of it. But I guess I want to talk about the whole idea of all of this tour, because if there was anybody that I would be like, who would represent New Japan and this US, New Japan US, it would be you. You're the one I bother with all the questions.
And I'm the one sending you the answers.
Yes. Are you okay with that statement?
That's perfect. That's a very true statement.
I'm the one. You are the botherer. Do all the other wrestlers, were they all bugging you too, or just me?
No, all of them.
Okay. Because I felt like now I'm on these shows and we're buddies, but then I'm asking all these business questions. I was like, fuck, I bet I'm annoying him so much.
It's totally fine.
It's okay. Okay. Good to know. Now, so hold on a second. So these shows them. Jesus, I'm podcasting. Can you give me 3 minutes?
You guys podcast?
Yeah.
Cool.
Can't be late in Japan. You gotta be 15 minutes early. If you're not, then you're late. Turn this shit off. Well, listen.
2 minutes. So the tour itself, I'm super excited. I got asked to do it a couple of months ago, but some stuff did go down, which I'm sure nobody's like ecstatic about, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Japanese talent that was we were hoping to book for this tour. There was a visa situation, and because of the government shutdown, it could not be resolved.
Can we blame Trump for this? You don't want to say it. I'm going to say it. So he doesn't want to get political or religious on here, which I understand. Right. But I will say it. But also there are random Japanese people here that I don't know. I assume they are of official standing or status?
Yeah, they're our staff that work here in the LA office for New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was like, why? There's too many Japanese people. I don't understand. Okay, so there's a building here. There's an office here?
Yeah, we have an office here. We have a dojo here.
What's the office do?
They run things like this, events like this. Obviously we got MSG. They're a part of that, running the MSG stuff with the Ring of Honor. They also run, I should say we should have a show at the American Airlines Center in Dallas.
How many
July
people are in
6th.
this office?
Probably every day, maybe like 5,
Oh,
6.
okay.
Yeah, it's a small office right now.
Are they going to be coming to Charlotte and Nashville?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So you'll see them all week.
All right, maybe I'll make some new friends here.
You should.
All right, I'm excited, and it's good to see you.
Yeah, we're here at the Globe Theater. I mean, don't you want to talk about me and Trent getting together
No.
for the first time?
Or
in a long
me,
time?
maybe, or your friend Chico. I'm going to be on his podcast pretty soon.
Yeah, I heard.
No, I don't want to talk about any of that.
Okay.
This is just about this weekend.
Fair enough.
New Japan.
Okay, let's talk later. Let's talk on the East Coast.
To be continued. And I did make my way up to the actual venue itself. It's where PWG started running. It's their new home. I was on the very first PWG show. A lot of people don't know that or remember that. I was tight with that crew back in the day. I think my last show was maybe 2010 or 2011. So I haven't been to those parts in a while. And of course, they're running a new venue, but this was also the venue that New Japan was running for the day. And I was scoping out the ring, scoping out the venue. I saw Trent out there, and I thought, oh, you know what this podcast needs? It needs an awkward, weird conversation from Trent Beretta.
Where do I start? We've got a wrestling ring.
We're in a theater-type venue with 2 balconies.
John Wilkes Booth type balconies, like murderer president. Oh, I'm talking about the side balcony, not the main balcony.
Yeah.
Presidential suites on the sides.
It's presidential death suites.
Yes.
Are we allowed to joke about Abraham Lincoln's death?
Yeah. I don't know, man.
It's very majestic. There's gold ribbons all around.
Yeah, ribbons.
But also...
Is there any ribbons? What would you call that? That's not a ribbon. It looks like a Mortal Kombat stage, kind of, but instead of like a gold dragon, it's just a gold, not ribbon.
Ribbon? I mean, it's not actual ribbon, but I think it's called ribbon.
No, what's the name of like...
Drape?
No, they use it for like the top of a ceiling, a little white thing where wall meets ceiling. It's a little
corner?
No.
Edge?
Nope, it's got a name. It's a white piece of wood that gets painted white.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I couldn't tell you. I couldn't even tell you. I just learned the word stanchion.
What's that? What is that?
They're like little things on the ground. No, those things right there next to that couch. Those with the velvet rope in between.
Oh, the stanchions.
The stanchions.
No, I have no idea.
Those are called stanchions.
Is the rope thing a stanchion too?
No, that's just the velvet rope.
Okay.
So this place is way nicer than we've ever wrestled anywhere ever.
Yeah, like I guess it used to be a real fancy like Marilyn Monroe concert place.
And now it's
pro wrestling.
American New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yes.
Also, you've been very scared of my microphone. You back away.
I just feel like you're trying to get too close to me. I didn't even consider that it's a microphone.
You didn't like the personal intimacy.
Yeah, why does he walk? You're a close talker all of a sudden.
No, I got a microphone and a podcast.
Oh, that's the thing, but it doesn't have a name. Molding, crown molding. With a U. I'm walking away from the microphone. It's unusable because I'm so far away. So I would call it like a gold molding around a fancy, ornate, even gold. All right, we can end the segment.
Should I edit that in like you just remembered it?
No, yeah, I don't know. That's up to you.
All right, let's have fun on this. Who are you wrestling today?
It's me and Rocky Romero against Tracy Williams and Juice Robinson. Those are two clearly fake names. All of them, actually.
Tracy Williams?
Something about Tracy Williams and Juice Robinson. His name's not Tracy Williams.
Is your thing just like taking down all people with fake names now?
No, because I have a fake name.
Right, and you're happy to throw it out.
No, you're
really breaking the walls down.
Oh, that I'm saying they have fake names. Oh, that's not their real names? I don't feel like that's a secret.
But obviously, this is something that's always on your mind. So much that you took your own name and said, "Hey, everyone, my own name is fake."
No, okay, maybe, but it's not on my mind. Something about Tracy Williams and Juice Robinson together seems funny. Not fake wasn't the right word.
Just not their real names.
It's an odd name combination.
It just seems you and
you got a problem
Chuck Taylor.
with me and Chuck calling each other Dustin and Greg.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't. I
you got a problem with it.
Stop calling yourself Trent and Chuck Taylor and just be Greg and Dustin. Then.
No, I like both.
I think it's very new age thinking, and for that I appreciate it. But if you could take yourselves down, but don't take us down.
I usually don't.
You called Rocky John the other day in a tweet.
Yeah. I think I called you and you got mad.
Of course.
Probably. Clearly you got mad.
I just beeped that.
Now you're really?
Yeah. All right, Greg. Hey.
Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome.
As Rocky did say before, none of the Japanese wrestlers except the great O'Karn was able to make it because he did his visa at a different time because he's been wrestling in England for the past 7 or 8 months. But the show did fill up with a good crew, a lot of good hanging out, and a lot of people who wouldn't, I guess, necessarily have been on the show were on the show, and that included Shane Taylor. And even before I grabbed him for the podcast, you could tell like he was amping himself up. This was a very big deal. It was a big deal for myself too, don't get me wrong. But you could tell Shane was putting pressure on himself and this was a big opportunity. And I wanted to capture that in audio right before he was going out. So it's not just his words, but you could also feel his emotions while talking to him also.
I like to hear about your feelings.
About my feelings going into this match?
Just this tour. You were saying before how much this means a lot, obviously, to you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, my whole career, my goal was to wrestle in Japan. I feel like this is, after 11 years, after years with ROH, to be able to even take the first step in achieving that is something very, very special to me. So it's
such a close step. It's gotta be so weird, right?
It's so nerve-wracking because it's right there.
You're so close.
It's like knowing the girl you've liked for a long time does like you, and now you're like, okay, you still got to get the gumption up to go ask her. So this is to me, this is that. Okay, you're here. It's right here. Yeah. Now you just got to go and execute.
And you're your first one. Obviously, there's probably no pressure on you, but you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself.
I think there is because again, for people that know my story and where I'm from, there's a lot of people that have done a lot for me that never got the chance to live their dreams. So I'm fortunate enough that they sacrificed whatever they had to get me to this spot. So there is a lot of pressure on me.
But I mean, like legit, there's no really. I don't think there's New Japan office
Oh no,
saying yay or nay after this match.
No, of course not. Yeah. But in my head, I would like to think maybe with a good performance.
Right, you want to fucking wow.
Exactly.
And you want your name to be buzzing afterwards. With we gotta bring this guy over.
Absolutely.
And we're only 10 minutes away from you going out right now.
I know. So it's like, ooh, all the nerves are starting to kick in now. So now it's just about calming myself, remembering this is what I get paid to do, and just going out there and doing what I've done thousands of times, and just overcoming myself really at this point.
The key. You'll be on automatic because you know what you're doing out there, but there's this weird sense of something else greater than us or whatever.
Yeah,
around
just
right
this
now.
like you almost feel out of control, like out of, like you can't control what's going on, but you can, and once you're out there, you'll be straight.
It's a fun feeling. Like,
it is.
I think this is what we live for. Are these weird...
These butterflies, not necessarily anxiety, but the...
it's a different feeling. Your body's going through a different feeling than it is.
It's like really gearing up for like a fight. Like, you know what I mean? You're like, okay, here we go. You know, you're trying to psych yourself up to go out there and perform, and
you're gonna do great, man.
Thank you.
You're gonna do great.
So are you.
Yeah, thank you. And I was pretty amped up, but not that amped up. And then after that conversation, as we were having the conversation, I started getting giddy. You could probably hear me in it. And he did do great. A good tour for Shane Taylor and a good crowd, too, in Los Angeles. I was able to look over and just see a small percentage cheering for my opponent in my match. For the most part, the globe was behind me, and I was able to sneak out a victory. And that was one show down and 2 more to go. Now, before we head over to Charlotte, which was the very next show, I do want to tell you about our sponsor. And of course, our sponsor is Squarespace. Turn your dream into a reality. What you looking to do? You got a new wrestling business? Maybe some wrestling pictures and e-fed? Maybe Colt Cabana erotica fan fiction? Maybe you want to sell some wrestling swag. Squarespace is not only for you, but they're going to help you turn your dream into a reality. They have beautiful templates created by world-class designers and the ability to customize just about anything with just a few clicks. Squarespace's e-commerce lets you sell anything online and analytics that will help grow your site in real time. It's all optimized for mobile and tablets, so it works on the website just as well as your phone, and there's nothing to patch and there's no need for upgrades. And if you're having any trouble, Squarespace's 24/7 award-winning customer support is there for your every need. Squarespace empowers millions. I just went on my Twitter. People tweet me all the time about using my code to start their own business. I just went on my Twitter. I saw at Bill Z Hustle, at John Wright 1980, even Botchamania's Matthew was asking me about Squarespace questions. And you can do it too by going to squarespace.com/Colt for a free trial. When you're ready to launch, use the offer code COLT. That'll save you 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Go make yourself a website. I got ColtCabana.com. What do you got? Let me know. Squarespace.com/Colt. That offer code is COLT. Off to North Carolina we go. Just watching wrestling, taking in some wrestling. And as I'm watching, Marty Scurll is right next to me. And I thought he'd do a great job of helping describe the Grady Cole Center. That's where we were wrestling that night.
We're in Charlotte, North Carolina. The building I can't really describe. We don't have any buildings like this back in the UK. I'm guessing people play basketball here, maybe? Maybe not? No, it's a stage. I don't know. It's like a theater? I have no idea.
But it's in the full round. So, there's a stage, but you can walk down, then there's a whole... I said that it seems like there'd be roller derby here.
Again, roller derby's not a thing from where I'm from, so...
So much that you call it a roller derby.
Derby? What'd you call it, derby?
Derby.
No, derby. Well, there's a balcony, though, as well. A balcony with seats, so what's that for? What else goes on here other than wrestling?
Well, it's funny you asked, because I looked it up before we came.
Okay, and what goes on?
Well... Mid-Atlantic Wrestling wrestled here forever, which was NWA, Crockett and
stuff.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. So this venue's got a bit of history.
REM.
REM?
Yeah.
What?
A lot of, Fish.
A lot of Fish, what do you mean?
The band, PH.
Okay.
PSHIHH.
Okay. Not real big fish.
And then, not real, we're correct.
Not plenty of fish.
No, that's why I would be here. And then there was a bunch of like Leonard Skinner played here.
Oh, cool.
And then the big thing is that Martin Luther King spoke here.
Oh, wow, really?
In 1960.
Yeah.
Right, it's Black History Month, yeah.
Right.
Super appropriate. Today's February 1st, right?
Yes, it is actually.
Yeah, it's the start of Black History Month.
There we go, yeah. So it's a cool building. I like the tiered seating, it's a pretty packed house, so the crowd's pretty good. I didn't realize they run wrestling regularly here. I heard NXT runs here, right?
Yeah, NXT, and then ROH ran here in 2010, and not a lot of people run here.
Ring of Honor should run this building every time.
I couldn't agree more.
Every time, yeah.
But the big history here is the NWA days. Like, all those guys used to come here and wrestle. I always think that's kind of cool.
Very cool.
That's the history. Like, the same way that you did the camps, the way Steve Gray and those guys did the camps, like, we're wrestling... I know we always will think, like, I'm always, at least I do, I don't know how you think, but I'm less than the Midnights. I'm less than Buddy Landell. You know, just like they're legends. We're just these dudes.
But we're doing the same building.
We're doing the same job, right?
Right. So yeah, I just in my head back in the day it was like a lot darker and there was like it was smoky. You know what I mean? Everyone was smoking cigarettes. So there was a big fog in the air. And they wrestled with the spotlight on the ring, but it still looks badass tonight, to be fair.
Yeah. And now the smoke is just the fog machine.
Yeah, exactly right.
Well, they probably did smoke cigarettes at wrestling shows. They had to, right? I remember going to the Cubs games when I was younger and people would smoke cigarettes and cigars. That was a thing. The times, they are changing. It's kind of funny we say that as I was in the Kim Jornet building, who doesn't really believe in the times are changing, but they are. They are. Hey, you know, I talked to Shane Taylor, a guy, like I said, who got a nice opportunity to be on these shows. And my partner for this show, too, was another one of those guys, John Skyler, a Renaissance man. There's always a core group of guys who are always doing it. You see them on every show. They're always pushing it. They're trying to get better. They're trying to find their way onto any big show, any show just in general. And John Skyler is one of those guys. And he was my partner, and we chit-chat.
My partner tonight in North Carolina.
Undefeated now as a tag team.
Oh, because we had one match.
Yeah.
And we
But
won.
we 1-0.
I was trying to think if we had a different match.
No, we've had one match and we've won one match, so we're undefeated.
2 days ago on the podcast, I had Shane on, and it was like, I don't know, it was like, as we were talking, you could see how big of a deal it was for him to try to do this show. I'm assuming for you too, this kind of show, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a huge deal because like going to Japan and being a part of New Japan's been on my bucket list ever since I broke in.
Yeah.
A lot of my mentors were guys that had runs in Japan, and like Steve Carino, C.W. Anderson. So to get the chance to at least maybe impress New Japan officials, it was a good feeling, especially here in Charlotte.
You're in a weird part of your career where you're hitting all the big promotions.
Yeah.
But it's just that first. You're waiting for the big door breakdown, right? It's got to be frustrating a little bit. But I guess on the flip side, it's pretty awesome too, right?
For sure. Like, yeah, I've had dark matches pretty much everywhere. WWE, NXT, TNA. Obviously done a lot of stuff with Ring of Honor here recently too. So just waiting on the big break.
Just waiting on it, yeah.
I feel like Dennis Stamp in a way. You know, you never know when they're going to call. You never know when you're going to have your next match. So you got to be ready. And it gets frustrating too because I've had a lot of friends get signed and make a lot of money and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, you just have to I posted on social media today. I said you got to hang on to your wrestling mojo and remember why you do this. You go out there to entertain and have fun, and this is the best job in the world.
I guess it just seems like everyone's like, oh well, we'll need more stars because right?
Yeah.
Like now's the time almost.
Right. There's more job opportunity than ever before. I mean, at least for a while here in our business now, because it seems like there's a lot of things on the horizon for our sport, and it's creating a lot of opportunities for guys like me who, 10 years ago might not have gotten seen, might not have had an opportunity, but now things are opening up, and it's a trickle-down effect because guys get signed, that opens up spots in other places.
The schedule for you is super busy as always. You work a lot, right?
Yeah, stayed pretty busy. I was in Philly and Baltimore last weekend. Coming up, I do a lot with PWX, obviously out of the Carolinas. It's kind of my home promotion right now, but I'm looking to go back to England this summer, which is a place, I've been.
Are you doing the camps again?
I don't think it'll be the camps. I think I'm going over for NJPW this time with Nathan Cruz. I know they
do the camps.
I know they're doing the camps, but I don't think they're going to be camp shows that I'm going to be doing.
You don't want to do the Butlins anymore?
No, I love the Butlins. The Butlins is where I learned how to work, brother.
Right. Well, that's what NJPW. They took over all of the Butlins.
No,
shows.
You're absolutely right.
But they have other shows too.
I do think they have other shows as well, and I think that's what I'm going to be taking part.
That's not as fun.
I know.
Maybe it is. I don't know.
And they said that I might be doing some of the Butlins while I'm there.
Okay.
You're right. I'm right. We're both right, and we're undefeated.
It's true. Did you like the show tonight?
I'm having a blast. Yeah. So yeah, this is Charlotte's kind of my home away from home. I'm a South Carolina boy, so it's a blast being in an arena like this with all the history, Jim Crockett, NWA, all that kind of stuff. It's it's awesome feeling, especially after we killed it. So I thought we had a great time.
1-0.
Charlotte, North Carolina, in the books. And then the next day we would move on to Nashville, Tennessee. Juice Robinson and I did a meet and greet, and then together we walked into the very historic building to get a glance at where we were going to wrestle that night.
I said this building's apparently important. It looks like the pictures of the building where Abraham Lincoln got shot in That's what it reminds me of. Where my book bag or where my rolly bag is right now, where I'm changing, looks like where Abraham Lincoln got you.
That's what Trent said about the globe, though. Are we just doing Abraham Lincoln buildings?
We're just doing a Civil War tour.
They said that. So
Globe was in California, though. I don't think Abraham Lincoln did anything out there.
But it had the little Abraham Lincoln side nooks.
It looked like that right where he got picked off.
Where he got picked off. Apparently, so now apparently I do research, because yesterday I did some research about the Grady Cole Center.
Yeah.
And here, did you know Woodrow Wilson talked?
No.
He was a president.
Yeah, I know he was a president. He was actually a pretty good president, I think.
You think?
I think he was like post-World War II, right? Or no, maybe not.
It was like
Actually,
1917.
Really?
So World War II, I think, was the 40s.
Pre.
So you're really showing your history.
Pre-World War I.
Maybe? I don't know.
But I saw something on Netflix once about him, and I think he did pretty good. We'll have to research it.
And
Sounds
then,
like Woodrow Wilson's would be a good wrestling name.
Yeah.
What's it called? An alliteration?
Colt
Woodrow
Cabana?
Double. Yeah, double W. Woodrow Wilson, Colt Cabana.
Juicerfin?
Yeah.
Did you ever have any other names you were going by?
I was supposed to be Joey Ryan. I told you that once, remember?
Oh,
yeah. That's my real name. My real name is Joey Ryan.
That's right. He got you.
But he stole it from me, my real name, so then I had to create something way cooler.
Well, it's good because I think there's like either a porn star or an actor who also has Joey Ryan who takes all social media stuff.
Yeah. No, he's great. He should be Joey Ryan. He looks like I should be exactly. Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, you should be.
I should be what I am.
Okay. So the story of this tour is your little hand ski.
My little hand ski, I got a hairline fracture. She's cracked but not broken. And I'm not advised to wrestle, but I told actually a hot doctor. She was pretty.
Is that right?
Really, really pretty, especially for an urgent care.
Did you flirt with her?
I got yeah, and I acted real tough. I was like, well, I'm still going to wrestle no matter what you say, ma'am. Sorry. I felt so sexy.
Because I have a big heart.
Yeah, it's fractured, not
and I'm
broken.
courageous.
Yeah.
Did you get her number?
No. I don't get numbers.
You don't? They get you?
In this town, out. On to the next, man. I'll never see her again.
So tell me about this hand. It's all puffy.
It's puffy and it's gross, but it's a different bone that I broke last summer. I've had like 4 lower arm injuries the last few years. Broken wrist, broken hand once right here, broken hand here, broken hand here. 3 broken hands and a broken wrist. What the hell?
Do you see that in some kind of like Buddhist way that the world is telling you something?
Nah, I think they're just all soft bones, and they just give way.
Well, watch out for your dick, man.
Just give way, yeah.
I think my break pretty
gotta make sure not wrestle with an erection. But the good thing about soft bones is they heal fast. So
all right,
there's that.
I hope it heals up. When's the next big New Japan tour or whatever?
February 19th I go for the Ring of Honor. For the Ring of Honor shows. We got to do Ring of Honor TV next week though. Then I have Rocky's wedding, so I don't think I'll need it there.
It's a full lineup.
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you next week.
Yeah. Godspeed.
And a Godspeed to you. I can only think of Nicolas Cage in that movie where I think his name was Godspeed, right? You know what I'm talking about. Don't tweet me about it. I'm obviously just going to Google it the second I'm done with this. I could have paused it right now and Googled it, but I've decided against it. Wesley Goodspeed? Wasn't National Treasure. I think it was The Rock. All right, we're done talking. Don't tweet me about it. His hand was bad, and he was still wrestling and didn't complain. I'm going to complain. So I don't know, my neck. Last week it was my back. It hurt really bad, and then it got better. And then this week now my neck hurts. And now that he's talking about hairline fractures, like I'm assuming I have hairline fractures in my neck. But then I told that theory to Trent, and he couldn't stop laughing at me. Like I was one bump away from just it all cracking right off. But that's what it feels like. But he was laughing at me. So hopefully it's not possible. But it hurts. It hurts so much. And now I bought all these gadgets like to help my body. Finally, almost 20 years into wrestling, I'm like, oh, I should probably prevent my body from hurting. Like I bought one of those neck pillows where you pump it and then you get traction and it makes your neck straight up and pulls the vertebrae apart so you can get some relief. And then I bought a TENS machine, which is like a stim unit. David Finlay was on tour and he had one of those and I used it and it felt amazing. And I was like, why don't I own one of these? And then I bought this like sweet ice bag. I'm ready to prevent my body from hurting. It's too late though. It all hurts. But luckily this tour, not luckily, it came to an end so I didn't have to wrestle another match. So I could save my body for another week.
And as we wind down, I told you we'd start with Rocky, and we would end with Rocky.
The last night has ended.
Yes.
The captain of the ship couldn't win.
I couldn't pull it off, man.
What's wrong with you?
Juice is just too strong.
Man, that punch.
He didn't hit me with the punch, though. Did you see that? You obviously weren't watching.
He hit you with a pull fraction. I don't think he did ever hit you with a punch, right?
He never hit me with a punch. He tried. I evaded.
I was talking about the fruit punch he had beforehand.
Oh, yeah. The fruit punch monster that I'm holding right
that makes him really strong.
Right. No, I mean, what'd you think? It was a heck of a tour, right?
It was. I love. For some reason, these buildings were wonderful.
Buildings were wonderful. The crowds were like so into it. You know, I feel like a little more than usual. You know, like sometimes we go and like I don't know, they're just very appreciative and thank you everybody who came out. I mean, it was a lot of fun.
Thank you for helping us find our flights.
No problem. Thanks for being a part of it.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean. Hopefully you'll come back soon, and you know we'll come back, and you know it'd be cool to have you a part of the group.
Well, I'm coming in February for Honor Rising.
Okay.
That's been announced.
Is that in when's that? Oh, that's
in Tokyo.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be there.
Why not? Because you're getting married?
I'm getting married. Everybody, tell me congratulations. Thank you.
No, what should they be saying?
Mazel tov.
We got one. We got one.
Yeah. My beautiful soon-to-be wife is a part of the tribe.
Yes.
Yeah. So I will be breaking the glass and shouting Mazel Tov at the end of this ceremony.
And now at the end of the shows, we're going to be eating matzah.
Absolutely.
One of us is what we say. It's good to have Rocky Romero on the team. I hope his little child has a bar mitzvah and becomes a great Jewish wrestler. We need more. It was a good start to hopefully a start with the New Japan team. I go back in February on the Ring of Honor New Japan split shows in Korakuen Hall. I can't wait to podcast from there. That should be fun. And then who knows where the future will take me. I do know where the future will take you, and that is to some plugs and
upcoming events.
All right, the best way that you can support ColtMerch.com, DigitalColt.com, Twitter and Instagram at Colt Cabana, Facebook /Colt Cabana, my storytelling podcast, Pro Wrestling Fringe, plus past archives of the show, old and new, are ad-free on StitcherPremium.com/Colt. Use the code COLT, get a free month. ColtWrestling@gmail.com is my very public email. Maybe you're a promoter, want to put me on your upcoming show or convention or even be documented on this very show. I have a YouTube channel. I also have a website, ColtCabana.com. That's where you can find my P.O. Box. If you want to send me something fun, upcoming Saturday and Sunday, February 8th and 9th, Lakeland and Miami, Florida. I'll be doing some wrestling and some commentary, ROHWrestling.com. Sunday, February 17th, Duluth, Minnesota, HeavyOnWrestling.com. Friday and Saturday, February 22nd and 23rd, Tokyo, Japan, NJPW 1972.com. Saturday, March 2nd, Vancouver, Canada, AllStar-Wrestling.com. April 3rd through the 6th, New York City, WrestleMania weekend. That Wednesday in Rahway, New Jersey, WrestleProOnline.com. That Thursday, Queens, New York, DDTPro.com. Thursday at midnight in Jersey City, AIWrestling.com. All day Friday and Saturday, I'll be signing and selling at WrestleCon.com. And of course, as a part of WrestleCon.com, I'm doing Joey Ryan's Penis Party show. Saturday, I'll be at Madison Square Garden for ROH Wrestling.com. Saturday, April 20th, Anchorage, Alaska, WrestleProOnline.com. Intro music is by the Ukulele Teacher on YouTube. Outro music by Superfun Yeah Rocket Ship. Podcast cover art and design by Jimmy Lee. Photo by James Musselwhite. Thanks to Rocky Romero, Trent Beretta, Shane Taylor, Marty Scurll, John Skyler, Juice Robinson. If you listened really closely, you could hear Tiger Hattori sneak in there. Thanks to our sponsors, HighSpots.com, an amazing VOD service. Watch the brand new $5 wrestling show. There's going to be more to come. There's PWGs on there, Best Friends, AMA knee pads you can buy, gear, masks, even a wrestling ring. Also, OneHourTees.com. They help run ProWrestlingTees.com. Gonna get some ice on the neck. Gonna put some stim on the neck. Gonna make my neck elongated. That is the plan. And hopefully I will be ready to go to take on Zack Sabre Jr. this weekend. All right, that is the show for this week. This has been The Art of Wrestling. For Colt Cabana, I'm Colt Cabana. Thanks.
Hey, this is Jeff Gerstmann, and I've been covering the video game industry for over 20 years. For the last 10, I've been doing this over on our podcast, The Giant Bombcast. It's a weekly show where me and the staff over at GiantBomb.com get in deep on the weekly news in a way that no one else can. We'll also catch you up on what we've been playing and what you should probably be playing. Oh, and on the Giant Bombcast, we'll also screw around a bunch and generally have a good time. Without doing that whole yell at you for an hour straight thing that seems to be all the rage in video game coverage these days. Actually, I'm probably lying. We've done over 500 episodes. I bet there are totally episodes of this show where we yell about something for an hour straight. But hey, video games are serious business, right? That's the Giant Bombcast. Look us up wherever you get your podcasts from, or come see us directly at the source over at giantbomb.com.